Hello everyone, and welcome to Readings in English. My name is Emma, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey of exploring the beauty and power of the English language. English, as we all know, is a global language, a vibrant tapestry woven from countless cultures and histories. It's a language of Shakespeare and Austen, of hip-hop and scientific breakthroughs, a language that constantly evolves and adapts, reflecting the dynamism of the world we live in. Learning English can open doors to countless opportunities, from academic pursuits and professional advancement to experiencing diverse cultures and connecting with people across the globe. But learning a language shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be an enriching and enjoyable experience. That's why I'm here. Readings in English is dedicated to making English language learning engaging and accessible through compelling storytelling. We'll explore captivating narratives, delving into the nuances of the language through immersive and emotionally resonant tales. We'll break down vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation in a natural and intuitive way, making learning fun and effective. And to kick things off, I'm delighted to present a brand new story. A Lost Kitten, a heartwarming tale of healing, connection, and the transformative power of unexpected friendships. This story follows Sarah, a lonely artist who finds solace and purpose in the most unexpected place, a small, injured kitten she rescues from the rain. Through the journey of caring for this tiny creature, Sarah embarks on a path of self-discovery, overcoming her isolation and rediscovering her artistic passion. Join me as we delve into A Lost Kitten, a story that will not only entertain, but also enhance your English language skills. Let's begin. The rain hammered against the grimy windows of Sarah's apartment, mirroring the relentless rhythm of her loneliness. At 42, she felt adrift, a solitary speck in a city that pulsed with a million unseen lives. Her days were a monotonous cycle of quiet mornings, spent staring at a blank canvas, and evenings filled with the hollow echo of her own footsteps. The vibrant colors she once poured onto her canvases now seemed muted, dulled by the grayness that had seeped into her soul. Her art, once her refuge, now felt like a mocking reminder of her unfulfilled potential. She was a ghost in her own life, a silent observer in a world that rushed past without noticing her existence. The only sound was the persistent drumming of the rain, a relentless soundtrack to her solitude. She longed for a connection, a spark of warmth to break through the chilling isolation that had become her constant companion. The city outside was a blur of lights and movement, a stark contrast to the stillness within her small apartment, a stillness heavy with unspoken grief and unfulfilled dreams. She sipped lukewarm tea, the bitterness a reflection of her mood, the steam rising like a fleeting hope in the cold air. The persistent drumming of the rain continued, a constant, almost oppressive presence, Sarah, lost in her melancholic thoughts, hardly noticed the change in the rhythm of the downpour, a subtle shift that signaled a lull in the storm. It was in this brief quietude that a faint sound reached her ears, a tiny, almost imperceptible cry, a high-pitched mewling that seemed to pierce through the layers of her self-imposed isolation. Curiosity, a long-dormant emotion, stirred within her. Cautiously, she approached the window, peering into the dimly lit street below. Through the rain-streaked glass, she saw it, a small, huddled form beneath a dripping awning, a tiny ball of fur barely visible in the gloom. It was a kitten, soaked to the bone, its small body trembling with cold and fear. Its mewing, though weak, was insistent, a desperate plea for help that tugged at something deep within Sarah's heart. Hesitation warred with compassion. She had always avoided responsibility, preferring the comfort of her solitude. But the kitten's vulnerability, its utter helplessness, broke through her defenses. The image of the tiny creature, so frail and alone, resonated with her own feelings of isolation and despair. With a sigh, a mixture of resignation and a surprising surge of determination, Sarah reached for her coat and umbrella. The rain continued to fall, but now it felt different, less like a relentless torment and more like a backdrop to a new, unexpected beginning. She opened the door, stepping out into the storm, drawn by the tiny cry that had shattered the silence of her life. She had to help. The kitten, a tiny ball of matted fur, was surprisingly docile when Sarah gently scooped it into her arms. Its small body was ice cold, its ribs visible beneath its thin, wet fur. The journey back to her apartment was a blur of hurried steps and the rhythmic drumming of the rain. Once inside, she carefully placed the kitten on a soft towel, the warmth of the radiator a stark contrast to its previous shivering state. Sarah's small apartment, usually a sanctuary of solitude, was suddenly filled with a new fragile presence. She rummaged through her cupboards, finding an old cardboard box and lining it with a soft blanket. It was a makeshift bed, but it was warm and dry, a haven from the storm raging outside. She warmed some milk, carefully coaxing the kitten to drink, its tiny tongue lapping at the warm liquid with surprising eagerness. As the kitten nursed, Sarah felt a strange warmth bloom in her chest, a feeling she hadn't experienced in years. It wasn't just the warmth of the milk. It was the warmth of connection, the quiet comfort of caring for another living being. The silence of her apartment was no longer empty. It was filled with the soft purring of the kitten, a small, comforting sound that resonated deep within her soul. The kitten, so small and vulnerable, had somehow managed to break through the wall of isolation she had built around herself. The next morning, Sarah's first act was to check on the kitten. It was nestled in its makeshift bed, its purr a soft rumble that filled the quiet apartment. She knew she needed to take it to a vet, but the prospect filled her with a mixture of anxiety and apprehension. Veterinary bills were expensive, and her meager savings were barely enough to cover her own expenses. Yet, the thought of abandoning the kitten was unbearable. She spent the morning searching online for affordable veterinary clinics, her heart sinking with each website she visited. The cost of even a basic checkup seemed insurmountable. Discouraged, she almost gave up, but the kitten's trusting gaze, its soft purr, spurred her on. Finally, she found a small community clinic that offered reduced rates for low-income families. The relief was immense, a tiny crack in the wall of despair that had surrounded her for so long. The vet, a kind woman with tired eyes and a gentle touch, examined the kitten thoroughly. It was malnourished and dehydrated, but otherwise healthy. The injuries were minor, mostly scratches and abrasions. With a sigh of relief, Sarah listened to the vet's instructions, making a mental note of the medication and the dietary requirements. Leaving the clinic, the city seemed brighter, the rain less relentless. The small act of caring for the kitten had given her a sense of purpose, a flicker of hope in the grayness of her existence. The kitten, so small and fragile, had inadvertently become a lifeline, pulling her out of the depths of her despair and reminding her that even in the darkest of times, there was still kindness, hope, and the possibility of connection. The days that followed were a gentle rhythm of feeding, cleaning, and playing with the kitten. Sarah named him Leo, a name that seemed to fit his sunny disposition despite his initial frailness. Each tiny improvement in Leo's health brought a corresponding lift in Sarah's spirits. The once empty apartment was now filled with the sounds of Leo's playful meows and the gentle clinking of his food bowl. Sarah found herself looking forward to these small routines, the tasks providing a structure to her days, a welcome distraction from the overwhelming emptiness she had felt before. She meticulously followed the vet's instructions, carefully measuring his medicine and preparing his food. The simple act of caring for another being filled a void within her, a void she hadn't realized existed until it started to be filled. She began to sketch Leo, capturing his playful antics and his serene moments of sleep. The sketches, initially hesitant and unsure, gradually grew bolder, reflecting her renewed confidence and the blossoming connection between her and her small companion. These drawings, unlike her previous attempts, were infused with a warmth and joy that had been missing from her work for years. They weren't just sketches of a kitten. They were a visual representation of her healing process, a testament to the unexpected comfort and purpose that Leo had brought into her life. The quiet moments spent together, the shared warmth, the gentle purrs, these were the building blocks of a new, unexpected friendship, a bond that was slowly but surely mending the cracks in Sarah's heart. The name Leo seemed to suit the kitten perfectly. It was a name that spoke of light and warmth, a fitting moniker for the tiny creature who had brought light into Sarah's otherwise gloomy existence. As Leo gained strength, his playful nature emerged, transforming the quiet apartment into a miniature adventure playground. Sarah found herself laughing, a sound she had almost forgotten, as Leo chased dust bunnies and batted at dangling threads. His antics, once a source of concern, now brought her immense joy. The routine of caring for him became a comforting ritual, a structured framework within which she could navigate her own emotional landscape. She started to notice the subtle changes in her own behavior, the lessening of her anxiety, the gradual return of her appetite. The art supplies, once gathering dust, now saw regular use. Inspired by Leo's playful energy and the quiet moments shared together, Sarah's creative block began to dissolve, replaced by a fresh wave of inspiration. She found herself sketching Leo in various poses, capturing the subtle nuances of his expressions, the playful glint in his eyes, the gentle curve of his body as he slept. These sketches, unlike her previous works, were infused with a sense of lightness and joy, reflecting the transformation taking place within her. She started to see her own life through a new lens, a lens that was colored by the unconditional love and unwavering companionship of a small furry creature. The unnameable emotions that had weighed her down for so long were slowly beginning to find their voice, finding expression not just through her art, but also through the simple act of caring for another being. The small joys of Leo's companionship were interspersed with unexpected challenges. One evening, a particularly violent thunderstorm sent Leo into a state of panic. His frantic meows and trembling body filled Sarah with a wave of protective concern. She spent hours comforting him, holding him close, whispering soothing words until he finally calmed down. The experience, though stressful, further deepened their bond. It highlighted the fragility of life and the importance of connection, strengthening the unspoken understanding between them. Financially, things remained tight. Sarah's freelance artwork was sporadic, and while Leo's presence had reignited her creative spark, translating that spark into paying commissions took time. She worried about affording his food and vet care, the anxiety a familiar shadow that often crept into her thoughts. Yet this worry was different. It wasn't the all-consuming despair of her previous loneliness. It was a manageable concern, a challenge that she faced with a newfound determination. The small victories, a successfully completed commission, a particularly vibrant painting inspired by Leo, a playful game of chase that ended in a shared nap, became beacons of hope, small reminders of the progress she was making, both artistically and emotionally. Each day brought new challenges, but with each challenge came a renewed sense of purpose, a sense of responsibility that, paradoxically, brought her a deep sense of fulfillment. She was no longer simply existing. She was living, and she was living with a purpose as small as a kitten, yet as profound as life itself. The weight of her loneliness was gradually lifting, replaced by the gentle weight of responsibility, the warmth of companionship, and the quiet joy of caring. One particularly sunny afternoon, Sarah decided to take Leo to the park. It was a tentative step, a small act of venturing outside her comfort zone. She had always found large crowds overwhelming, but with Leo nestled securely in her arms, she felt a surprising sense of calm. The park, with its vibrant colors and the sounds of children playing, felt different this time. It wasn't the impersonal backdrop of her loneliness. It was a shared experience, a world observed through Leo's bright, curious eyes. She sat on a park bench, sketching Leo amidst the bustling activity. This time, she wasn't just capturing his likeness. She was capturing the essence of their shared moment, the peace she felt in his presence, the quiet joy of their connection. As she drew, she noticed a young woman watching her. Hesitantly, she approached, commenting on Sarah's work. A conversation ensued, a conversation that flowed effortlessly, a conversation that was as unexpected as it was welcome. The woman, an art enthusiast, was impressed by Sarah's talent and suggested she submit her work to a local gallery. It was a small suggestion, a fleeting moment of connection, but it was a glimmer of hope, a sign that her art, and perhaps her life, was moving forward. The day ended with a shared smile, a newfound sense of confidence, and the quiet purr of a kitten nestled securely in his human's arms. The journey had been long and challenging, but Sarah knew, with a certainty that warmed her heart, that she was finally on the right path. The suggestion to submit her work to the local gallery sparked a renewed sense of purpose within Sarah. The thought, once daunting, now felt achievable, even exciting. She spent the following weeks meticulously preparing her portfolio, selecting her best pieces, the ones infused with the warmth and joy of her connection with Leo. The process itself was therapeutic, a journey of self-discovery and artistic growth. Each sketch, each painting, was a testament to her transformation, a visual representation of her journey from isolation to connection. The act of selecting her work forced her to look back at her journey, to appreciate the progress she had made, both artistically and personally. She saw the change in her style, the shift from muted colors and melancholic themes to brighter hues and more optimistic depictions. She saw the influence of Leo in her work, the subtle yet undeniable presence of her feline companion in the playful lines and vibrant colors. The process was not without its challenges. Self-doubt, a familiar companion, occasionally crept in, whispering insidious doubts about her ability and her worth. But this time, the doubts were met with a newfound resilience, a quiet confidence that stemmed from her connection with Leo and the tangible evidence of her progress. She had come a long way, and she knew deep down that she was ready to share her work with the world. The submission itself felt like a symbolic act, a declaration of her emergence from the shadows of loneliness into the light of self-acceptance and artistic fulfillment. It was a step towards a future she could scarcely have imagined just a few months before. The response from the gallery was swift and positive. They were impressed by Sarah's work, particularly by the unique perspective and emotional depth of her pieces. They offered her a solo exhibition, a prospect that both thrilled and terrified her. The thrill came from the opportunity to share her art with a wider audience, to finally express herself in a way she hadn't been able to before. The terror stemmed from the vulnerability of putting herself and her work out there, of exposing herself to potential criticism and rejection. But this time, the fear didn't paralyze her. She had Leo, her constant companion, her source of unwavering support and unconditional love. She had also found a new support system in the gallery owner, a kind and encouraging woman who believed in her talent and her potential. The preparation for the exhibition was a whirlwind of activity. Sarah worked tirelessly, refining her pieces, creating new ones, and meticulously preparing for the opening night. Leo, ever the faithful companion, was by her side throughout the process, his purrs a comforting soundtrack to her efforts. The opening night itself was a blur of activity. Sarah, initially nervous, found herself energized by the positive response to her work. People were drawn to the emotional depth and vibrant energy of her paintings, the unique perspective that stemmed from her unexpected journey of healing. She made new connections, forged new friendships, and discovered a sense of belonging she had never known before. The exhibition was a resounding success, not just artistically, but personally. It was a testament to her resilience, her creativity, and the transformative power of an unexpected friendship. It was a celebration of her journey from loneliness to connection, from despair to hope, a journey that began with a tiny cry in the storm. The success of her exhibition brought about a wave of positive changes in Sarah's life. The financial worries that had plagued her for so long began to ease. Commissions poured in, allowing her to not only comfortably provide for herself, but also to create a small trust fund for Leo's future care. Her newfound financial security was a significant weight lifted from her shoulders, allowing her to focus on her art and her relationship with Leo without the constant pressure of financial insecurity. Her apartment, once sparsely furnished and reflective of her solitude, began to transform. She added touches of warmth and color, creating a space that truly felt like home, a welcoming environment for both herself and her feline companion. she started attending local art events, connecting with other artists and building a supportive community. The connections she made weren't just professional. They were personal, enriching her life with new friendships and shared experiences. She discovered a hidden talent for teaching art, leading workshops for children and adults, sharing her passion and her knowledge with others. Teaching brought a new level of fulfillment, a sense of purpose beyond her own artistic pursuits. The transformation wasn't just external, it was internal. The confidence she had gained through her artistic success permeated every aspect of her life. She was more assertive, more self-assured, and more open to new experiences. The quiet, introspective woman who had once felt invisible had blossomed into a confident, creative individual, radiating warmth and positivity. Her journey had been one of healing, a transformation sparked by a tiny lost kitten, a transformation that had led her to a new beginning, a life filled with purpose, connection, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Years passed. Sarah's art continued to flourish, her work gaining recognition both locally and nationally. She established a thriving studio, teaching classes and mentoring aspiring artists. Leo, now a dignified older cat, remained her constant companion, his presence a comforting anchor in her busy life. He was more than just a pet. He was family, a cherished member of her newfound community. He was the silent witness to her transformation, the gentle catalyst that had set her on a path of healing and self-discovery. Sarah often looked back at the day she found him, shivering and alone in the rain. The memory brought a wave of gratitude, a profound appreciation for the unexpected turn her life had taken. The small, lost kitten had not only saved her from the depths of loneliness, but had also awakened within her a creative spirit she hadn't realized existed. He had shown her the power of connection, the importance of compassion, and the transformative power of unconditional love. Their bond remained as strong as ever, a testament to the enduring power of companionship and the unexpected paths life can take. Sarah's story became a source of inspiration for others, a reminder that healing is possible, that hope can be found in the most unexpected places, and that even a small lost kitten can change a life forever. The quiet apartment, once a sanctuary of solitude, was now a vibrant hub of creativity, filled with laughter, warmth, and the comforting purr of a beloved companion. It was a home, a testament to the enduring bond between a woman and her cat, a bond that had healed a broken heart and illuminated a life once shrouded in shadows. And as the years continued to unfold, Sarah knew that the journey, though transformative, was far from over. The canvas of her life, once painted in shades of gray, was now filled with vibrant colors, a testament to the enduring power of hope, healing, and the unwavering companionship of a beloved friend.